According to the Pew Hispanic Center, a nonpartisan national research center, North Carolina had one of the nation's highest percentage growth rates of undocumented workers between 2000 and 2005. What is your assessment of the role illegal immigrants play in North Carolina's economy?
This was the first issue I tackled, Shannon, after the gas tax campaign that we successfully concluded. We have hundreds of thousands of illegals in our state. It's putting pressure on hospitals, it's putting pressure on schools, it's putting pressure on our infrastructure. We are a nation of laws, and when people come to America, they come here and expect that we obey the rule of law. We value that so greatly. What we need to reemphasize is if folks want to come here and enjoy and engage in the American dream, we welcome them with open arms. But we have to insist that they obey the rules. If you are a criminal and you've come to this state, in this country, you are out of here. We are not going to accept that anymore. You are to be deported as quickly as humanly possible. We have many illegals in our jails and the Department of Corrections. That problem needs to be cleaned up first and foremost. And I can't reemphasize the cost. We have had 1,500% increase in Hispanic illegal aliens into this state since 1990, 1,500%. And we've got to clean up that problem. It's putting a big burden on the state's budget, on the county's budgets with the new births that are occurring. And so we need to clean this problem up and do it as quickly as possible. We enjoy people coming here to enjoy the American dream. We need to clean this problem up, obey the rules of law.
As you've all mentioned, North Carolina is an economically diverse state, with some parts of the state seeing a lot of economic growth and other parts of the state that are struggling. As governor, how would you manage that economic diversity, Mr. Graham?
One of the things I want to do, Shannon, I like this question a lot. One of the things I want to do is change the game that a lot of the other governors play. A lot of the governors around this country always try to go get the largest plants and the largest block of employees, new employees and new growth that they can possibly get. And it goes in one county and that becomes a large footprint. But the mistakes that have been made, we've seen the results of those, having one county dependent on just textiles or just furniture or just one particular industry. We've got to diversify each one of our counties so that we're not dependent upon just one economic sector of the economy. This is no more important than in eastern North Carolina where I grew up. I grew up in Dunn and a lot of counties in that area just depended on agriculture for so long. We've got the governor of this state has got to provide leadership and go after the small and medium-sized service and manufacturing industry and diversify our county's economic portfolio. This is the most healthy way to get new growth. This is the most healthy way to go about getting new high-paying jobs in North Carolina, and that's exactly what I plan to do.
Carolina has increasingly used financial incentives in economic development. What do you see as the role of incentives in bringing new industries to North Carolina and keeping expanding business?
Shannon, the best economic incentive we can give small and large business as well as the workers of this state is new leadership towards a tax policy that cuts taxes and get a handle on health care costs. That's what all the businesses, that CEOs and small business people that I talk to, they say, please reduce my taxes, get the government off my back, and do something about my health care costs for my workers. That's the best thing we can do. Now, with regard to your reference to your question about tax incentive financing, TIF as it's known, or these other economic incentives, if I'm the governor of North Carolina, which I plan to be, I am going to fight for the people who need good-paying jobs, and if I have to go toe-to-toe with the governor of South Carolina, Tennessee, Virginia, and the rest of the Southeast, I'm going to do it. But we're going to have a cost-benefit plus for the taxpayers of this state if we're going to start giving tax money back to the corporations who wish to come here. The reason we're always behind the 8 ball on this discussion is because our taxes are too high, our education system underperforms, our roads are too clogged, and we've got poor leadership and big government in Raleigh. We can start cleaning those problems up. The sky's the limit.
This is our final question, and you will each have a minute 20 seconds in which to respond. The state budget for this fiscal year is more than $20 billion. As governor, what would be your philosophy regarding how the state collects and spends it, Mr. Graham?
Shannon, one of the first things we need to do with the budget process and with government in Raleigh in general is shed a little sunshine into the General Assembly, also into the executive branch. There needs to be live streaming webcams in the Senate and the House so we can see how this stuff is put together. And I would also say this needs to happen on the committee level so that the people that are sending their money to Raleigh know exactly who's trying to pull their money out and spend it on pork barrel projects, pet projects, and that there be a little bit more integrity and credibility in the budget process. I blame a little bit of the budget process on some folks having to go to jail, some corruption in Raleigh. This needs to get cleaned up. There needs to be new leadership. Debt has doubled recently. North Carolinians can't continue to afford this kind of inefficient and ineffective government. We've got to do a better job. We need new leadership in this area. Taxes have continued to go up over all these years recently, almost 91% in the last 10 years. Taxes have continued to go up for the last 7 years. We've got to do a better job. We need more responsible government in Raleigh. We need to clean up the corruption. New leadership is the prescription for that ailment.